Up, everybody? Happy Friday. It is the end of the week. Congratulations, you've made it through another spicy crypto week. Good to have you guys here. Hope you have some fun plans for the weekend. I got to make mine. The question on everyone's mind today, Bitcoin seems to be putting in a little bit of a rally here off of this week's lows. And the question is the bottom in? Today, we're going to take a look at the charts. We're going to have some open discussion. What do you guys think? There is a poll going on in the chat. Vote if you think the bottom is in. If you don't think the bottom is in, that is okay. No one knows the future. I think that's a great way to start this episode off. No one knows the future. Everything is dubious speculation. So bring your opinions. Those are more valuable than what I or what some random person on the internet is going to tell you. Let's have a discussion. Let's look at some charts and facts and data, and we'll speculate dubiously. So everyone was paying attention to the sell-off in the last few days. Price reached down to about 24.8, kind of just shy actually of our lower end or higher end targets there. Back testing what does look like May's swing low. Sorry, there's a huge storm here, and right before I went live, I found that my surge protector was covered in water. Literally, there was water in it, and I'm a little shaken up having to recover from that. But everything's fine. Computer seems to be all right. It was some good news. It was some good karma. Hopefully that spills out into the chart. So back testing what looks like our weekly resistance at 25.3 with 2 days and 6 hours. Bitcoin does seem to be holding that as support for the moment. Definitely doesn't guarantee that the bottom is in, but we are seeing some interesting signs, and we're going to keep zooming in, and we're going to be looking for those. And please add anything in the chat that you might have found that I haven't found. So what's interesting to me here, the 200 weekly moving average. We had a perfect short from here. I'm not even going to go over it. It's not worth it. We had a perfect short from this level in our stream, I think on Monday, saying we're looking to short the 200 weekly. That would have been a pretty slick trade. If you made it, congrats. If you didn't, you may get another chance here. It does seem as if price is moving back up to that 200 weekly. Currently at 26.4, even higher actually than when I started setting up the stream. Okay. Let's add in the value. 26,516 does look like that is the 200 weekly right there. This has been the line in the sand for my analysis all year. If we're below it, things are looking short-term or mid-term bearish. If we're above it, things are looking much better and much healthier. Reminder, Bitcoin has never, outside of the last year, I'll say, spent any time below this moving average in its history. If we go back on the chart, this isn't going to be the whole data, as Coinbase doesn't have all of it. But basically, this was the bottom of the previous bear market. Even in March of 2020, during the crash, price did trade below it, but very, very shortly, only for a few hours before recovering. And now in this cycle, we are seeing extended time, many weekly, even monthly closes below the 200 weekly. And so we are in a different environment for sure. I was really on the page that we would expect to see something similar from the last bear market. And I'm starting to move away from that idea. And I'll tell you why here. This is kind of what I was expecting. I'll just place it there sloppily. I was kind of expecting something like this. Now, maybe not quite as high as this may suggest. As you guys know who have been here, shout out to you, fam, who have been here following the streams. But I was looking for 48K this year. I still am looking for 48K. However, I was looking for it to repeat in a 2019 fashion. That would have been about a 300% rally. That actually would have put us higher if we matched. That's interesting. That was 360% rally from our 15.5 low. That 360% would actually have put us back at the all-time high. But regardless, there's a lot of reasons that this would fit on the chart, and it would look well. It would fit with an alignment, kind of what we watch on charts. However, I'm moving away from this idea as we didn't get, and we still haven't gotten that explosive rally. Now, we could be priming it right now, right here. This could be the beginning of it. We don't know. But I don't think we're going to get this same price action. And I think price action has already deviated from it enough to kind of suggest that that's the right train of thought. This rally was mostly just up. Very little periods of pulling back on the weekly. Really nothing until June into a blow off top. That doesn't seem to be what we're looking at here. So there might be a different pattern or a different cycle pass that might fit this better. And we'll take a look at that later in the episode. Right now, we've kind of talked about this in a few streams. We're seeing what looks much more like a different time in Bitcoin's history. And this is basically decent sized move or an impulse move to the upside that gets stalled out. We see it pull back into a low and then it moves up again. This is much different from a sentiment point of view than 2019. That was pretty much euphoric, all up, very spicy, lots of emotions, lots of hype. And that just doesn't seem to be what we're looking at right now. Now, there has been some giant news kind of rocking the markets in crypto. The SEC filing against everyone and their grandma, I think, is not a bad place to start the sentiment FUD or whatever conceptualization. Lots of negative things. We did have what appears to be a trust being filed for by BlackRock. Whether it's a trust or an ETF seems very vague. I'm seeing kind of arguments both ways. The filing itself says trust. However, it says they are going to use Coinbase as a custodian, which makes no sense for a few things. That kind of eliminates a futures ETF. You don't need a custodian for futures ETF. You just index it to a spot price. They said they're going to use Coinbase's spot price. But it's interesting because the Coinbase now under suit from the SEC and BlackRock now reaching out to them, basically going to provide custody. The whole thing is a little mixed up, and I don't know really what's true. Do you guys think that this is a play, kind of a FOMO play in what is still a bear market, or do you think that this is the beginning of maybe something real? Your guess is as good as mine. BlackRock, I will say this. Do we want really big money in Bitcoin? I mean, the answer is inevitably yes. Is it good for Bitcoin? I think that is also yes. But it does move away from kind of the ideals of being decentralized, being outside of the mainstream, the control, etc. Inevitably, this is what Bitcoin and what people in the space over the years have been waiting for. But are we ready? And is this actually going to be it? I don't know, but it's something to think about. But what we're seeing, we're seeing very mixed news, very mixed kind of articles coming out. And the price climb is a little exciting. And we get these pullbacks. It's very shallow. Hopefully setting higher lows on the way up. And this would start to match something else that we're going to take a look at. As soon as I get through a little bit more chart here, I'm going to pull up BLX. That's going to be the total history of Bitcoin's trading prices. So also from the storm, somehow that dragged in like a centimeter of pollen in my room. And so my allergies are going crazy. It looks like a tree splooged all over my room. Everything's slightly yellow and dusty, and then also somehow wet. I don't know. It's gross. Let me finish with some of this analysis. So we were looking, and I'm still not completely sold. There's a bunch of ideas here. Let me find this chart. This is kind of the price action we were looking for on the bearish side. There's a lot of Confluence down at 23.3, as high as 24.3, including this 200 daily moving average. I'm not going to get into all the other technicals on this chart, but we can see that 200 daily is moving up now almost to 24K, and it is approaching the 200 weekly line. We could consider that a golden cross if they do cross upwards. That could be a bullish sign to the market, but that support continues to inch higher as Bitcoin does seem to hold on here to this 25.3. So losing 25.3, likely going to see that 24.3 or 23.3 play out, likely looking for more downside targets. But I'm liking the reaction here, and that's why I wanted to go live, even though I kind of feel like crap today. This is spicy in the making. So did we actually hit the 200 weekly? We have not yet. It looks like we're like literally about to do so. Let me God, this, the pollens. I might take a live trade. I haven't done that in a while. I do have a pretty underwater long. Do I want to open a short here? Maybe. 26.5. Who wants to see me get wrecked? Should I get wrecked? Let me see which account I want to get wrecked on. Hold up. As we approach the 200 weekly again, this is going to be the most important. Oh, wrong. Okay. Let's pull up Fairdesk. By the way, shout out to our sponsors, Fairdesk and Femex. Great no KYC exchanges. They sponsor our channel. They are amazing. So we are right back to 26.4, right where the 200 weekly is. I think I'm going to look to take some kind of position here. This does not really... This isn't really reflective of how I feel about this move right now. Let's do like 5. I'm just going to do it live. There it is. I'm looking to take a short at that 200 weekly. Why? It worked last time, and really I find this to be like a hedging bet. If we reject from here, and I'm getting ahead of myself. This is the line in the sand. This is basically where I'm looking. If we reject from the 200 weekly, so we're right here, we're snuggled up against it, and I have no idea what's going to happen next, so I may look to take a hedge here. None of this is financial advice. I'm just walking you through my thoughts and how I approach trading and how I trade. Doesn't mean I'm always right or that you should do what I do. You should take what I say, and if you find anything valuable, you should use it as your own and improve on your own skill set, not blindly copy me. So I see this as a line in the sand. If we can retake the 200 weekly before this weekly close, and reminder, it's Friday, we only have about a day and what? 2 days and 6 hours. If we can close back above the 200 weekly, this looks really good all of a sudden. You have like a hammer bottom, like you can call it a kicker candle, really a fake out that looks almost certainly like it's going to close below this major moving average and then doesn't. Or we reject from it and we're right here right now, and we go down and probably explore much lower prices like 23.3, really not that much lower, but still. This is a really critical juncture. You can see that price got some of its first volatility back on the 5th of June when it dumped through the 200, rallied through it, kind of chilled out sideways on it, then fell, hitting lower lows, rejecting from it on the 13th. We called that short here. I forgot to set it. Looks like I get a second chance. Rejecting from here, yeah, I mean, that 200 daily moving average now at 23.8 looks very juicy for a play. Settling up above it is going to set this up for some kind of breakout. We've been seeing a pattern that isn't very exciting, but it is, at the end of the day, we do typically expect this from a probability standpoint to break to the upside. We have our lows coming down and our highs coming down, and I'm not going to sit here and argue which pattern this is specifically because that's irrelevant. Really what it is when you see this without a really steep drop, this is going to be some kind of falling channel, falling wedge, whatever you want to call it, pattern, and those typically resolve to the upside when we look at the probabilities. It's a greater chance than, let's say, resolving to the downside if you look at a giant sample size of like this pattern across markets. Now, it doesn't mean we go to a new all-time high, and it doesn't mean that the bottom's in. I know. You got clickbaited. You got clickbaited, son. But what it does mean, or does suggest, is, well, we usually see some kind of retracement. And what retracements do we see most commonly? Back to the 618, back to the 0.5. Both would be great targets if you're somehow you snagged along in the last 2 days. Looking at like 27.7 to 28.5, I think these are very conservative upside targets. Even if the market is going to dump into your most bearish targets, I think it's going to come up here first. Why? Because that's typically how markets move. They move in whatever opposite direction the big move is coming in. And why is to sweep liquidity, to engineer liquidity, I'll say. By pushing price up, they can bait in longs, they can stop out shorts. And this allows big actors to find that liquidity that they need to have big positions. So we'll call them whales, institutional, whatever. I think it's a little too far ahead yet to look and say we're definitely going to go to 28.5, but on a close above the 200, things look really good all of a sudden, especially for how bad they looked and felt over the last, I'll say, week. Sentiment did not mirror price action. Sentiment was getting crushed underneath this tidal wave of SEC enforcement, bad news, etc. And price really just didn't reflect that. It didn't move down in a meaningful way. Even with the Fed, the FOMC or Fed Chirpow, coming in with a pause on the interest rate hikes, but basically guaranteeing more to come in the year, we just didn't see Bitcoin eat it. If we look back, our 19.5, I forget what FUD this was. Which one was it, chat? At 19.5, there was some really specific FUD. I know that the US sold its first portion of Bitcoin like very close to the bottom of this drop. I tweeted actually the other day, just the US government just waiting to sell the bottom again. And I wouldn't doubt it if we do hear from them. Especially if we do come down here into like the 23 zone. I could see something like this playing out, finding support at that same moving average that we found in March would be pretty beautiful and would make this chart set up for a pretty strong bounce. So let me actually zoom in. Let me look at my indicators quick. Definitely have some bullish divergence on any kind of oscillator. You don't have to be looking at RSI, but almost any oscillator, I can tell by looking at this, is going to be painting a hidden bearish divergence. That being, RSI is holding a higher low, yet price continues to hit lower lows. That's a hidden bullish divergence of some kind. I wouldn't say that's completely long fuel, but it is there. It is there. Is it on the weekly as well? It is. Interesting. So we have it built on, or we have it built on. We have pretty much the same divergence here. You have a difference in your lows. Your lows aren't at the same level, yet your RSI lows are. That is painting divergence to the upside simply because you're looking at lows. If you were looking at highs, that'd be bearish divergence. That would be suggesting downside price action. You know, Steve, I'm going to look over Ichimoku Cloud because Steve threw Ichi in the Discord today. Highly recommend you join the Discord. And I haven't looked at it in a while, so let's take a peek. He's doing some chart examination here. Go to the week again. Right inside that cloud, our Ichimoku is... I wish I would have seen this earlier. Another piece of Confluence there, the Kaijun, sitting at 23.7 on the weekly. This is a lagging, you can think of it as like a moving average on the Ichimoku Cloud weekly time frame. We do have the cloud twisting, suggesting a change in winds, and that definitely did play out. We stopped just falling down. We're in the cloud now. We do have a flat top cloud around 32K, which is a really interesting level, just slightly higher than April's high. That flat, fat cloud, we say these are typically magnetic. Price does look to go to these fat, flat clouds. Now, that's one of the reasons we were looking for the 40Ks earlier in the year. It didn't come, so you can see these signals are not perfect. They're not perfect, but they do play out pretty often. Now, the daily here, yikes. Yikes. Unset. I got to get rid of this lagging line. I know that you use it for something. I just hate it. I think it makes the chart way too hard to look at. There we go. We busted out of the cloud into the start of the year, tested the cloud of support. We've fallen through it here, so that does diverge from March's low. That is definitely different. We kind of rejected trading under the cloud in March, and we seem to have fallen underneath it here. We have a flat-topped cloud at 28.4. Not a bad upside target. Right there, perfect. That's some Confluence. Right there, perfectly at the top of our range here at 28.5. I like it. So with this short that hopefully filled... Did it really not fill yet? Did it really not fill? What the fudge? Why didn't you fill? I don't want to market it, but I might market it. Nah. I got skunked. Come on. Nah, I'm going to leave it there. Well, that's looking a little droopier. Didn't fill yet, but I might... That's on 5x. I'll probably use 28.5 or a little bit higher as my stop loss here for this trade. And I'm going to reverse engineer that short then. Let's say it's right here. If my stop is up here at 25.8, where do I need my take profit? Ooh, really low. I don't like it that low. Should have been more patient. Damn, at 20.5. I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe I'll make this just a lower risk to reward. We'll aim for 2. Not my typical risk to reward, but I'll take it down at 22.5. That's fine. That'll be fine. Again, this is a hedge position for me, as I do believe there is severe consequences to rejecting the 200 weekly not once but twice in a row. I think that that's very likely to put downside pressure on the market. Although the 12 hours looking all right. This rally on the 12 hour is pretty sus because we have this weakness in the cloud right above us where we see the cloud from red to this little green dot to red. It's very thin. It doesn't suggest lots of liquidity or orders sitting there. And what we do see often is when the clouds become weak, like back here, price does like to punch through them. It happens, you know, not every time, but like here, pretty weak cloud, flat, boom, pop through. Weak cloud right here, boom, pop down. The Ichimoku cloud is a really wonderful indicator that was invented a very long time ago and used in traditional markets, but I really like the way it shows Bitcoin. It honestly it's really great when price is near it. When it's not so close to the cloud, it's not quite as good. God, fill my damn order. Fill my order, son. This 12-hour. Was rolling over. Now it's still looking pretty ugly. But what I can't kind of shake here is almost on every time frame you see your oscillator. So I'm looking at RSI, but all oscillators, anything that trends from 100 to 0 will likely reflect this, is that price continued to hit lower lows while your oscillator didn't. And that suggests basically that the relative, we'll say relative strength of the sell-off was showing weakness compared to the majority or the past selling off that we've seen over the last, whatever, 90 days. Jesus, 90 days. 90 days. All right. Let's go down to like the 4-hour. Wow, very slowly rolling over, but I still see strength there. I like it. RSI on the 4, likely to see some kind of bearish divergence. Do we get it? Likely. So here's a little issue on a lower time frame. Without setting a higher high in price here, the same logic or reasoning behind the bullish divergence that we just kind of discussed. Let's put this here. On the other side to keep balanced. Without pushing higher today, basically without reversing, we're going to see some bearish divergence paint on our lower time frames. And that may lead to what, just like a pullback in this rally. Maybe a return to 25.6 would be pretty clean. That was your resistance. You can flip that to support. Oh, God, the pollen. The pollen's coming after me. It's coming after me, boys. Make sure you're smashing the likes and subscribes. If you're new here, subscribe. But you're probably not new here because I don't think we have that many viewers yet. That's okay. But if you are new, join us. We're racing Bitcoin to 100K, and we're winning very slowly. We hit 80K, less than 20K to go to 100 and get that check mark, and then I'll never talk about subscribing again. Mark my words. So we're watching here on the lower time frames. Anything, honestly, lower than 27.4 is going to paint that bearish divergence we don't want to see. And what I don't love is the descending high of this channel is right there at 27.4. So it is possible to come back, double top this, and fall again. The major player, though, for me is Sunday's close. Is it above the 200 weekly or not? And we are just flirting with it. That's where I look to take this short from. What is this indicator? Ooh, I'll take this. Hello? Hold up. Wait. Ooh. I couldn't find this thing for a while. Here we go. There we go. The 20 daily and the 200 weekly are at the exact same point. That is a little uncomfortable. It is not so encouraging, actually. No! You bitch! Tune into Tom Crown as he yells at candles. Son of a bee! Go back up. My short didn't fill. Crap. I was too busy charting. It's okay. You don't... I was going to say you don't strike out for any of the pitches you don't swing at, but that's not true. Missing a trade, not getting that entry. I'm not going to chase it down. I'm not going to chase it down to get a worse entry. Missing a trade is not the end of the world, and trying to make a trade work that, let's say this one didn't work, right? Because I missed the entry. Maybe it will come back up and fill it, but if it doesn't, chasing it down is almost a guaranteed way to lose money. As a trader, it's like being in a casino, but you get to pick when and how much and what rules you bet on. So by following the price down, you're giving up that control and that power, and you're really going to feed into your emotions there. And that just makes for bad trading in general. And it's killing me. Money flow is coming back down, but VWAP is up. Very kind of strange there on the 4. Let's get onto the 1. 1 hour finally rolling over here. Hopefully gonna hold on to it. We can see there was like a 2-hour period where it did this yesterday or earlier today. I do like momentum here, reversing above the 0 line. What is up to our first subscriber? What's up, Agus LTD? What up, my man? Good to have you. I do like this pinching above the 0 line. That is what I would look for if I wanted to see a rally continue. Kind of the highs coming up, the momentum refusing to go into negative, preferably holding higher lows on the way up. Money flow rolling over. Now VWAP is a little contradictory on the hour. Slanting back down does look like it wants a little bit of retracement. Now that wouldn't be out of The question, son of a... I'm gonna get skunked on that. I was so close. Bastard. I swear, if I missed the 200 weekly short twice after talking about it twice live, I'm gonna be a little trolled. A little trolled. So we got it back here when we were streaming. We were looking for a move up to that 200 weekly. We got it. I forgot to set my order. Good short. Now we're back to it. I swear, if I miss it twice and it just dumps from here, I'm gonna be so triggered. But life will go on. I need to blow my nose. Get out of my nose, pollen, tree jizz. Get out of here. Ugh. Okay. That's looking grim for that trade, though. Boo. Life goes on. On the hour, that is some very overbought hourly. That does not mean, just a reminder, overbought, oversold does not mean it's going to go down or up. These are relative again. You're looking at, according, like, compared to the last 14 candles, how high is your RSI? So it's overbought versus last 14 candles. Doesn't mean it can't be more overbought, and the same is true for oversold. But what we do get from these overbought and oversold conditions often is divergence, and divergence is a pretty powerful tool when trading probability here. So we do have a higher high on the hour versus back here on the 6th, and I'm going to bet my bottom dollar. Yep. We have the same issue here on the 1 hour as the 4. Our RSI is higher than our previous high, yet price is lower. So that is actually a bearish signal. Seeing it on the 1 and 4. Now the forward had to have moved up and moved higher than that previous high to get rid of it. Same with the hourly, and I don't know if it has it in it. Does it? Does it? MACD looks okay here actually on the hourly. It's been underwater for a while, but this above zero pinch moving to a higher high, usually looking at some kind of continuation. Usually. I swear, this is exactly when I put that short in. And it's just sitting right there. Boo-hoo. Cry for me. Cry for me. 5 minute, a little bit toppy there actually on the 5. Not what I wanted to see. Bearish divergence almost everywhere you look. On these low time frames. Almost everywhere. Yikes. Well, since we have some kind of red candle here, we're going to pull out our Fibonacci retracement tool. We're going to take a look at our retracement levels. We can take it from this swing low. I think that's going to be the proper way to do it because it was such an extreme or strong low. I'm also going to place one over here just to get an idea of what it would look like if we do the whole move. Here we go. 25.3. Well, this actually hasn't begun retracing, so this might not be even properly placed. So when you use the Fibonacci retracement tool, you use your swing low to swing high or vice versa. And it is not considered retracing, even though you have your retracements out there. It's not considered retracing until you hit that first 236. So above 26.1, this is still in trend according to our retracement tool, which actually lines up pretty well. We can see here market inefficiencies in these moves up, kind of just green candles, not a healthy kind of climb, we'll say, moves up. And these are called fair value gaps, and we do see them come back quite often to be filled in. And we see our first kind of fair value gap is right here, 236 on the 5 minute at least. Trading below there, likely we're going to see more retracement, but we're going to hope for is a higher low, and not even to enter this retracement of 26.1. Something tells me it's going to test the 200 before it actually falls, if it's going to fall at all. Something tells me in my gut. RSI pulling back. Lower low with a higher low in price. Potentially, if this 5 minute close is strong, that could be a little bit of bullish divergence on a very low time frame. That's probably what I'm hoping to find here, because I want that short to fill. 1 minute does look like it's rolling over, unfortunately. Yeah. Bearish divergence all the way up. Give me a sec. While I'm doing this, keep smashing the likes, keep subscribing, keep getting hype. Bitcoin's finally moving up, even if it's not, I don't know, not going to keep moving up forever, even if it's short-lived. Thank God. I don't like the color red. I'm more of a green guy. I don't know about you. More of a green guy. 30 minutes still really good. 30 minutes to me is showing a pretty clear uptrend on money flow here, and that is a powerful sign to see. Now, we do have a higher high on VWAP, which is great. Momentum didn't quite make the higher high. That would have been like the trifecta for me. But it also has VWAP down at 0, looking to cross over. So despite this uptrend, it does look to me maybe like the 30 minutes looking to do like an interim pullback. It does line up with what we're seeing on this candle, though we can see on the 30 minute, it's barely even noticeable. RSI is really pushed up high, isn't it? It's pretty crazy. Crazy. 45-minute rolling over, and the hour just rolled over as well with that pullback. So 30-minute and the hourly, I think, are in agreement here on their VWAPs. They're looking to move back to 0. It doesn't mean it has to end the rally, but typically what we see in this kind of environment is that's some kind of pullback. Maybe it's to that 26.1. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. 2 hour showing kind of that same uptrend. VWAP isn't quite as undecided there. Momentum has the higher high. It's actually looking pretty good. So an hour and 21 minutes. Momentum on the MACD is picked back up. It was waning. It faked this out. Now it's accelerating to the upside. Nice. This is actually looking really good. From what I'm seeing so far, as I said, what happens at the 200, I don't think there's a way of knowing. I think it's kind of just a guessing game. But from what I'm seeing here so far, yeah, there we go. What I'm seeing so far is we didn't quite touch the 200 weekly. I think that we will. I think that today's high will move higher. I don't know if it will be able to break through or not. But it looks like with 5.5 hours in the day, we're doing some kind of shorter term pullback here before moving up there. I don't love where the 5-minute is at the moment. With this slightly lower high on money flow, that is a topping signal in general. The only thing I do like about it is it has begun to pull back, but it has not broken its low here. It's hit a higher low, at least for now. And if it can move back up, break that high, then it's likely suggesting a continuation. Until it breaks the higher low here, it's just tentatively rolling over. I do like that higher low on money flow. It's pretty confidence building, to be honest. 1 minute does look weak. Oh, move back up 1 minute. Very low, very, very low 1 minute time frame bullish divergence here on some of this. Definitely seeing lower lows on our MACD. No lower low in price yet. That could change with the reversal here. But price looks like it's moving back up. 26. What do I have my short at? Put my short at 26.427. Got skunked. Or no, 26.449. I don't know how I even hit that number. I really don't want to move it. I want to move it, but I feel like it's not going to fill. Yeah, it's staying there. It's staying there. On a very low time frame, likely looking for 26.399. That's why I was looking at that and deciding if I wanted to take the coward's way out and move my entry down, but I do not. I do not want to do that. I'm not a coward. Mama didn't raise no bitch. All right. There we go. Get it up. All right, that lower high I was just talking about closed on the 5, or higher low. Just closed on the 5. Money flow is moving back up. Looking to target that higher high on money flow to continue the trend. Fingers crossed. A little rolling over. It does look like it needs a breather. All right, so while we wait on this, we're going to look at a few other factors here, and we're going to look at... All right, and we're going to look at a few factors here that may have some kind of suggestions for us about this, about if the bottom's in. I meant to do this earlier. I got distracted because that's short. So BLX, this is the total crypto history of Bitcoin. You can see Bitcoin traded all the way down to 1 cent. Possibly it was even lower. I'm not sure. It depends on the exchange at the time. If they had fractions. Trade all the way down to 1 cent in September of 2010. It has climbed virtually up or only up ever since. Depends on your perspective. But very much all the way up. Let's see. Remember, guys, be very wary of curved lines. They're just gibberish. Gibberish curved lines, man. Actually, that looks pretty good, though. I'm just going to place that there. So... we started this episode with I was looking for a 2019 repeat. Why? Because I'm a guy of patterns and I love patterns, and what else do we have? But I'm starting to think that maybe price is looking more like a different time in Bitcoin. And this may actually be more bullish. This may turn out to be a stronger pattern. Maybe will lead us to a stronger bull market. Maybe even crush the rumors or the whatever you want to call it, conspiracies of diminishing returns. So if we have the same bear market as 2018-19, likely we're going to be looking at a similar upside. That's my opinion. If we see it maybe more reflective of a different time, say back here, 2014, 2015, then we may look for more of a rally that we saw like 16, 17. And proportionately, these were very different. This was basically a 20x from high to high. And then from 17 to 2021, it was barely, it wasn't even 3x, right? No, it was just over 3x. So very different. Maybe that is a characteristic of the bear market we experienced. If we're seeing something that is maybe more like 2014, and I'm not sure how I'm going to fit this, maybe like that. Something like this. Something like that. We may expect a very different bear market. This bear market, much less spicy, much less euphoria, and it's characterized basically by highs, not exaggerated highs, actually very kind of slumped highs that then lose momentum, trade sideways, hit lows, but they don't actually break their lows. So trading under 19.5, we're going to throw this out the window, basically. And we're going to be looking for maybe more sideways movement into this year, followed by, I would say, Q3, maybe a Q4 rally that gets pretty much sold back off to like 30K, and then spends a ton of time marching back up in these very unsatisfying little rallies that get pulled back. And what I like about this is it doesn't whip up hype. You won't see retail come in. You won't see new investors come in. And a lot of you will say, that sounds bad. How can it go up? Bitcoin has never needed new investors to go up. That's the reality. If you think Bitcoin needs new retail or new money to enter to go up, you haven't been in Bitcoin long. Not long enough. There was no new money back here. And you all can probably name one person who's like, oh, my best friend. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, sure. In general, almost no one. There is no new money here. This was the least interesting. People were totally checked out. Back here, people thought Bitcoin was dead. New money did not enter here. You know where new money entered? It predictably enters around the same value. Around the same values. I'll say lower end would be 5K. Higher end, of course, the all-time high 20K. Same with the previous bull market. Where did new money enter? It entered, I will say, all the way up to 60 from probably like what, 40-ish, 36-ish, up to 60. No new money entered. Well, maybe some in May. And then certainly a few more investors hopped in at the end of 21 just to get wrecked. So new money always comes in at the highs. It does not come in at the lows. It is not what pushes the price up. Period. I got derailed. What I was looking at is this potential 2014-2015 market bottom. Now, I don't know why we would see that. I have no explanation. I'm just following patterns, like I said, as to why this would happen. And I fit it this way, but I'll fit it a different way. I don't know if this makes as much sense. something like this, I would ignore the upside target, although at the same time, maybe not. What we would see to like really repeat this if we want to use the more zoomed out view would be a return close to 15, maybe even just to that 19.5. That gets bought up, sold off, and spends how long? Into July, into August of 24? Maybe like August-ish of 24, looking for a new high. That new high then gets sold off until like the end of the year. Everyone thinks the bull market's over because it always ends in November, and then it continues up. This would be pretty cool. But that is where my brain is at for a little bit here as we kind of dissect this. Of course, this all changes. This all is not set in stone. It's all just dubious speculation. This could end pretty soon, though. I could change my mind again pretty soon based on closing the weekly under the 200. If we then see the follow through, the rejection, follow through down, basically looking to make some kind of bounces around the 23 area. If we lose that, keep moving down, break 19.5, then this is all out the table. This is all out the window, in my opinion. At that point, I would say maybe the low isn't in for Bitcoin. I genuinely believe it is. I do not think it trades below 15.5. I genuinely don't believe it's going to trade below 19.5. There are no guarantees. Nobody in their right mind or wrong mind thought this was going to happen. I'm sure I said the same thing back here while I was streaming in 19 that, oh, Bitcoin will never trade at 3K again. Technically, I was right. It did trade to 3K, but it never traded lower. I'm sure I know I did not expect 3K here. No one did. So there's always this possibility, but I think with good confidence, I don't think we see below 19.5 again. I think we do something more similar to 2014-15. We've been talking about this, where you see this like stair stepping up. Once we get near that high, you break the all-time high, you fall back down below. Everyone gets all shaded out and all sad, thinking that was it. Like, man, Bitcoin really doesn't return. It really just has really shitty returns. Like, maybe it went to 100K or just below it and rejected, and now they think, okay, it's going to 0. And that's when we slowly bore everyone out near the all-time high and take off. This is what I'd like to see. That's what I think. This is where I'm at. Until proven otherwise, this is where I'm at. I think the narrative fits really well. I think the whole process fits. There we go. Money in the bank. Cha-cha-cha-cha. There we are. I might change my short now. So I'm going to do something bad. I'm just going to market it. Because apparently Mama did raise bitch. Alright, there we are. Marketed. Ordered. In. How do I put my stop? As I was discussing, let me rehash my own thoughts here as I do this. I think it was 28.5, right? 28.5. Please don't blindly copy my trades. You will lose money. You guys see me lose money all the time. Don't be fooled. I am wrong. Plenty. Let's see. 28.5. That is pretty high. How much do I lose here? 1,000? Thowie? A thowski? Let's get this really precise. Okay, it's just all under 28.5. What I'm going to do, and this is good practice, a good reminder. Fairdesk is a great place to sign up. You'll see me trading on there live like I am today. So is Femex. I trade on both of them. Use my link to sign up, get bonuses. Make me look good for our sponsors. A good practice here is, so what you'll notice is I'm looking at Coinbase's exchange because I believe they are like the correct index for the market. If we're trading on Fairdesk, we need to do something specific. Ooh, there it is. We need to do something specific, and that's we have to be aware of that exchange's traded prices. So you saw me look at that wick. Where was it? It was on the 29th of May. So whatever Coinbase traded to isn't super relevant. You want to go local to that exchange. So we have the 29th of May back here, and it might be the same, but it's not always the same. So our high was 28.428, so pretty close actually. That shows some good liquidity. But it's always good to double check that because you will find on exchanges there is variance. There absolutely is variance on the highs, and I have gotten thrown through the ringer by not checking before. Just being off by like $50 and getting wrecked. All right, let's go back to these low time frames. stop is set, right? Actually, I didn't enter that. I'm going to enter that over here. Yeah, $1,000 loss. I'll take it if it comes. The way I like to look at it when I open shorts is so my portfolio is always long because I typically don't sell my spot. So by opening short, I'm hedging against my own holdings, which is basically insulating myself from the downside. What is my punishment? Well, my punishment is if Bitcoin's price goes up a lot, I lose money on that short, which isn't what you'd want. But the idea is that the growth of the value of your spot outweighs the loss of that short. That is how it is a hedge. So what you're doing is protecting yourself from price moving against your holdings. If you were all in cash, maybe you would hedge the other way by opening longs. I don't know. That's really up to like the way you trade. You don't have to hedge at all. In fact, if you don't understand what hedging is, if you don't feel you have a expert grasp on it, I wouldn't attempt it. It is not necessary. And you absolutely can get thrown through the chipper by trying to hedge foolishly. I'm going to look at, this is coinglass.com, and I'm just looking at their funding rates here quick. Binance, we actually do see some bullish funding here. This isn't bad. Whenever Binance is below 0.01 for either token or USD margined, that's usually pretty bullish. Now, what you'd really love to see is token margin negative, but that doesn't happen as much because shorting with Bitcoin as your margin doesn't make as much sense as with USDT. I would say vice versa. Longing with USDT doesn't make as much sense as longing with Bitcoin, but I'm not going to get into that today. So Binance is below 0.1 funding, which means yes, longs are paying shorts to be open, but not as much as they usually are. But this is showing us there is a short demand that's outweighing long demand at this moment. When we look to exchanges with less liquidity like OKX, we see negative 0.05. Now that's really lightly negative. I wish that was 0.05 or something. DYDX, this is interesting because they're heavily positive. That's typically bearish, but DYDX's pressure on the market is nothing compared to Binance. And what you see, the reason Binance stays so stable is because these other exchanges essentially are going to arb out their funding to Binance to take their liquidity to profit from the imbalances on exchange. So DYDX is maybe very high as traders are opening shorts on Binance and opening longs on DYDX. However this setup is, it doesn't really matter specifically. We also see that DYDX is also heavily positive on most things, at least at the top of our list here, while everywhere else is negative. So maybe it's just local DYDX right now. Gate slightly negative, Bybit slightly negative, BitGet slightly negative, CoinEx. So maybe the ARB is actually happening with CoinEx and DYDX, who knows? But we see this predicted 0.07%. Now that's what we would be looking for a very, very confident upside signal if it was across exchanges. It's not. It's just CoinEx. That doesn't, I mean, that can still change. Oops. That can still change by the time funding resets. Typically funding, what? Should have reset at noon East and probably at market close today. So we should keep an eye on these. If we see many other exchanges joining suit with, I'll say, less than negative 0.1 funding, that's going to be a really strong signal to the upside, as market makers will look to punish those shorts and to sweep their liquidity. What I'd really like to see, though, is also token margin. Now, I don't need it to go negative, but I want these numbers to be closer to neutral, to 0.1. Why? Because when you have longs open on Bitcoin margin, when they close, they market sell coins at a higher value, and that does put a lot of downside pressure and can kill rallies. So actually, let's check back in. I'm just ranting today, ranting and riling. I'm gonna pull up the chat here, but I wanted to do one more thing. I'm gonna pull up the chat, so prime the chat. Hit your likes and subscribes now. One more thing I wanted to look at. Very, very important. We've been talking about this. Benjamin Cohen's been talking about this. I almost gave up talking about it a long time ago because it just seemed like it would never actually happen. Dominance has broken its 2-year range. It entered this range in April of 21. So right around the 60-ish K top, the first top. What about January 23? Interesting. That's pretty interesting. So Dominance fell into this range right around 60K, and it actually broke the bottom of this range and then got bought back up at 69K. That's very weird. I guess that showed that the market was more risk on at that point. So the reason this is important is twofold. One, we can look back to the one example we have and compare and say we would expect to see XYZ because we saw that in the last cycle. And I think that's valuable, and I'll explain that in a second. But what we can also say, even more confidently, because comparing cycles is very speculative, what we can say very, very confidently and with like complete confidence is that when Bitcoin dominance moves up, something happens. Altcoins, the other coins in the space, lose value versus Bitcoin. So if you've ever heard of Bitcoin pairs, I talk about them a good amount, but I know they're not popular. Like FBTC, Litecoin LTC, or BTC, whatever your coin is, ADA BTC. When dominance moves up, with very few or no exceptions, altcoins lose their value versus Bitcoin. So you'd expect to see FBTC move down. You'd expect maybe XRP BTC. You'd expect BNB BTC to move down. And so that doesn't necessarily mean that the alts are going to lose value in dollars. It depends on Bitcoin's price action. And in the past, when we've seen dominance rise, we've seen Bitcoin rise in price against USD. So alts ended up staying pretty just stagnant or sideways, maybe moving up a very little amount, maybe down a little amount. But it completely, without question, shows us that that is happening. So as dominance continues to rise, we're going to see more altcoin pain. Again, doesn't necessarily mean dollar value down, but it means that Bitcoin is going to be outpacing them. Dominance has put in a new high this week. It's looking to close very close to 50. I'm not going to go really into the indicators here with it because it's not a traded ticker, but let's just get in a view here. Getting a view. But dominance does not seem to be slowing down. Does not seem to be slowing down. What's funny is this actually kind of looks like Ethereum BTC in a weird way. Not currently, but in like 2020. Let me see if I'm smoking crack or not. Kinda. Not as much as I expected. Pretty close, though. Pretty close. Not enough to make the argument. I'm going to go back. It's putting in a higher high today. It's reaching up. So we have, like, I'll say 3 levels I'm looking at. One, we're at it, and that's 50. 50 is just a psychological level. When people see 50, their mind very easily comprehends it. They very easily understand it. And if you don't get that, if you don't understand what I'm saying, think about anyone almost can imagine half of anything. But it's very difficult for people to imagine, let's say, how much is 64.5% of something? It's much more difficult to comprehend or visualize in our heads easily. So what we see is values tend to interact at 50. There are other psychological values as well, but 50 is always a big one, and we're right here. We're right below it. We haven't quite been at 50% dominance since April of 21, so this is a long time coming. Could reject from here, but I'm seeing, or I'm looking for dominance to return, to retrace about half of what it lost before our bull market in 21, as high as the 618 here at 57.7. I'm looking for Bitcoin dominance to reach into this green box. When it does, that may give us the best entry for alts. It may. I don't think it's as easy as that. I'm going to be looking for a rally into this box, preferably some kind of sell-off, whether it's perfect or not, who knows. And then preferably a second lower high on dominance. This, for me, is going to be a very strong indicator that I can pick up alt bags, because we're likely to see weakness in this rally and dominance roll back over. And as dominance moves down, conversely to dominance moving up, alts will gain against Bitcoin. And if you're a very savvy OG trader like myself, you typically trade altcoins to get more Bitcoin. People are asking, should I buy alts now? I really don't think it's a good time. It's possible that dominance just reverses at 50. So if you're buying alts right now, you are betting that dominance reverses at 50. Right here, that it's already hit its high. It's not possible. I just don't think it's a really educated guess. You're betting on this, because without dominance following through to the downside, your alt bags are just going to be losing value against Bitcoin. So you would have been better off buying Bitcoin. When you get a scenario, when you get a move up, preferably a lower high, but just any kind of pullback, that can give you a good idea of maybe now's the time to go bargain shopping. Of course, anything can happen with this. I will point out, in the last bear market, or bull market, the bull market ended with a low in dominance. Technically, that happened here in 21, technically, but it was almost the exact same. You could call that a double bottom. Also, this is my favorite thing. Dominance did not hit a lower low. And logically, it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. So basically what that means is right now, or in the previous bull market, if it's over 2022, despite there being stable coins, despite there being so many more new billion-dollar projects, Bitcoin did not represent less of the total crypto market than in the previous run. Logically, dominance is a downward trending chart. It started at 100 and will, in theory, always trend down because it can't ever return to 100. But this doesn't add up for me. It's weird. It really is odd. I really thought we would see a lower low or a break of the lowest point dominance. We didn't. But the thing is, so dominance, when it's low, also suggests that the market is risk on. So we had that in 22. It was wrong. We had that in 18. And when it moves up, that suggests that it's risk off. So in 2018 into 19, we saw dominance climb throughout the bear market. And then when it finally rolled over, bull market started. So if we are still in a bear market and the bear market is to continue, what we would expect is to see dominance rise. So that kind of fits in. If you're bearish, you're probably looking for dominance to rise. If you think we have a new all-time high this year, which I don't think is impossible, I'm always bullish, baby, you're going to be looking for dominance to crash. So you're going to be preying on that 50 rejection. Or just a quicker move up into this higher zone and then a crash. But as, dominance moves up, it suggests the market is risk off, and that is suggestive of a bear market. So as dominance climbs higher, we aren't really seeing bullishness, at least compared to the previous cycle. Though I will say, something new could always happen. We could see Bitcoin dominance rally to new highs. Hell, it could go higher than, it could, what would stop it from going higher than back here in 1920? It could possibly happen. We could see that go up, and we could still have a bull market. It just wouldn't fit any of the history. And so to look for that specifically doesn't really make logical sense. Markets aren't always logical, though. Just some thinking concepts for you. Dominance just continues to rip. Continues. I'm going to set alert at 50. Bitcoin is half the crypto market. Woo. Woo. Can I get a woo? Nice. Alerts in. Moving back to Bitcoin. I knew I shouldn't have market ordered. Oh well. Oh well. 5 minutes still or 1 minute is still rolling over. We see lower highs in our money flow. Pretty predictably, that leads to a rolling over money flow. However, here we go. If you've stuck with us this long in the stream, shout out to you because I've been freaking ranting. We were looking at the 5 minute to kind of bring you back to the analysis side. I was a little worried at this lower high on the 5, but I said we did seemingly catch a higher low here. So what we're going to look for is for money flow to come back up and test that high range. It did, and it broke through. The 5 minute is pretty much suggesting that the uptrend is not over. That's what I was hoping for, although my short might not hope for it. Momentum coming on down, but maybe pinching. VWAP impulses are getting smaller. It's already trending back up. Cool. Maybe we're going to have the same thing happen here on the 15. We did have a higher high. It's coming down. 15 can pick it up before breaking that low. It's still trending up, and things are still looking pretty solid. 30 minute, we're looking for that interim pullback, but it doesn't even seem to have phased price. That 30 minute closed green just didn't have much upside progression. Does have a higher low and a lower high, so at the moment we're kind of coiling, winding up for a move. 23 minutes in this one. I won't miss sleep over that yet. 45 minute did roll over with this red doge. Hourly still coming down like a hammer. Momentum is almost certainly going to cross back over here as VWAP comes down. We got 53 minutes, huh? I bet it's into this 4-hour close. Yikes. Maybe I won't regret marketing that. Yeah, I won't. All right. There you go. There you go. Okay, finally I'll read the chat. Finally. Sorry, guys. I did not mean to ignore you. You know I love you. Let me pull this up here so you can even see it. There we are. Make sure you vote in the poll. Is the bottom in for Bitcoin? Of course, our community is staying bullish, although not as bullish as we are usually. There's been some sentiment change here. 58% with 500 votes. 42% no. I like it. I don't like when we're one-minded. If this was like 70% yes, I'd be afraid. Also, make sure you check out the links in the video description, also pinned to the top of the chat. Look at this cool landing page I made. Well, I didn't make it, but I own it, baby. Check it out. Has our Fair Desk, FEMX, Market Cipher, Lux Algo, Trading View links, and all my socials, and it's really pretty. Check it out on mobile. It's very pretty. So let me get rid of this. Let me see who's here. If you're here today, put something in chat. Let me know you're here, so I can shout. Yeah, we've had 1 subscriber. That's not bad. It's not bad. Let me go from the participants. I see Alex Wells, Bad Baptist, my buddy, Chocolate Wee, Crypto Crabman, Athene Mazda, I Need Cod, Jack in a Crack. How you doing, bro? Joel Frazen, Loading Name Mike, Nicholas Arena, Sergio. How you doing? Jeremy Ragsdale's here. Check out Jeremy Ragsdale. Mike Bennett, Nicholas Arena. Already got that one. Spoon, Pickle, Wick. How you doing, Wick? You're back. Are you back, Wick? Something. Thank you. Mad Cow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. What else did I miss? Cali Gulan. How you doing, man? Radar Randy. Draco Desick. Keyman. Pit Talk. NBF Form. You're here every day. You're here every day, my bruh. Good to see you. What's up, Buller? You are awesome. Thank you. You are awesome, bro. Howman. Eskandani. Steve B. FUD Expert. How you doing, FUD Expert? What's good? What's really good? Woof Most Style. Sin is here. Love you, Sin. Vesemir, love you, Vesemir. Bro Tip, love you, Bro Tip. Randy, Lil Mama's here. Love you, Lil Mama. Oh wait, Lil Mama. Is your Saylor interview today? Is it today? Guys, take a break from my stream for a second. Lil Mama over here. Lil Mama lassoed herself. Oh yeah, it is today. I'm gonna be there. She lassoed herself. A meeting with Saylor, something I have never been able to do. You better believe we are going to be going to that after this live stream. I will absolutely close this live stream before 4 p.m. You know what? Can I redirect? Do you have it so I can redirect? Lil Mama. I can redirect the stream to you when it ends. I don't know if you have it enabled. Let me see if it'll save. It did. There it is. Dude, Saylor at 4 p.m. This girl, she a boss. 32K and 1 green candle. I'll take it, Kryptonium. Let's go. Love watching your videos. Thank you, sir. Sirs and ma'ams. What's up, Marble Man? Real deal. You the real deal, baby. Watching you over 4 years, maybe even 5. Philip Barn. Let's give this man a round. Give this man a round of applause. 4 or 5 years watching the stream. That's insanity. Have some wizards. Have some wizards. Zach Drew. How you doing, Zach Drew? I met Zach Drew in Miami. What, 2 years ago? He's been on the stream for a long time. Believes crypto F-Boy Friday is in full effect. It is. You know what? I might as well take a moment to preach on my own platform about the F-Boy Friday and the true meaning of Christmas. I mean, of F-Boy Friday. The true meaning of F-Boy Friday. You all thought it was gibberish. You'd be wrong. This is the true meaning of F-Boy Friday. And let me put the link in the chat. There you go. This is the true meaning. F-Boy Friday is a day of reflection. Once a week, we look inward and backward so we can focus on the future and who we want to become. That's right. We all have F-Boy pasts of different variations, but who we are moving forward is all that matters, and you can always change who you are. I promise. I was an F-Boy, now I'm a crypto nerd. What's up, DJ Johnny? It's Autopilot. Sergio Green Candle. Confirmed for the Saylor interview. I'll take it. I'll take it. No, get out of here. YouTube made these so clickable. I hate it. Sailor Moon. Ha. Am I short, Chris? I am short. I am just, unfortunately, grotesquely short. Let me show you. I opened this during the live stream. I don't know if I'm going to get wrecked or what. But I am short, and unfortunately opened a long time ago. Forgot to close it. It didn't get stopped. But I opened short, tried to hit the 200 weekly. Didn't quite get there. I don't love it, but that's where we are. I missed my own trade signal 3 days ago, on the 13th, to short the 200, so I'm not missing it today, even if I get wrecked. I love you, Tom. You have a handsome name. Reformed, exactly. We all can work. We can all become better traders. We can all become better people. We can all become more successful. All we have to do is be able to look backward and then forward. When will I do another $100 giveaway? Fairdesk and I are hashing it out right now, so we'll see. Weed Smoker 420. He. What up? Cootie Wizard Hype. What's up, Cootie? You're watching it. Good. Save some Riz for the rest of us. Sorry, Autopilot. I am officially the CEO of Blue Raz, and thus I am the CEO of Blue Riz as well. The Rizziest. 808 Hawk, how you doing, man? Gave my dogs Roxy in a local shout. What's up, Roxy? Dogs and Roxy, or your Roxy dogs? I don't know. Shout out to you, Roxy, whoever you are. F-Boy days were fun. They were. M. Sumanth, what's up, man? Long live my chin strap. That was actually just pre me being able to grow out a real beard. Shorting Bitcoin now is not the time. I don't disagree. I don't agree. Both. I'm schlong. I'm not just short. You could even see when I showed the position I opened live here today that I literally have a long of half the size open. Should have closed that a while ago, but it's okay. I don't disagree. I don't agree. Like, I think there's arguments in both directions. Am I bearish on Bitcoin? I think so. When people ask me if I'm short and I say yes, I think what they interpret that as is, am I bearish? I'm not bearish. I'm just playing the numbers. We moved up to the 200 weekly. I take a short. On our stream on Monday, we had the same setup. I said we were like all the way back here, and we were looking for a move to the upside. In fact, let me even find that. June 12th, June 13th. I think it's this one. There it is. Please never, ever put on session breaks. There we go. We were back here during the live stream on, Monday. And you go watch the recording. Said we're looking for a move up to this descending trend line. And then I see price action playing out this way. Moving up to the 200. Pulling back. Going lower. That's exactly what happened. I don't get it right every time. It was exactly what happened. It didn't follow my exact trajectory. And I will say I was definitely looking for a lower low than 24.7. I was thinking like 24.4 or 23.3. But the short was good. The short was good. Now that we're back at the 200 weekly, I missed my own freaking call. I said I'm not going to miss it again, even if I get stopped out. And that's what I did. Boom. Boom. Can't live in regret, baby. Gotta live now. Morning from Australia. Cheers to all of our brothers down under. And sisters, I suppose. Tom Brady token. That sounds awful. Saylor is just selling to us what we already are sold on. True. True. MicroStrategy, though, is literally buying Bitcoin, which is good. You missed today's pump. That's all right. It do be like that. Hopefully there's more to come. You're an F crab, man. Yeah. F bouncing off 7 months. Yeah, we take a peek at F. Right, I'm going to pull up F, but what we were looking at here just a little bit ago was a little bit of what? It was like 30 minute to an hour. 30 minute to an hour. We're looking for some pullback. I thought it would be in the last candle. We didn't get it. Now we're seeing a red candle again. Hourly, finally, we have a red candle. Really just piggybacking off of this pullback from the VWAP. We said this is going to zero. This is looking to roll over again. We're going to pray for a higher low and a continuation of trend. It happened. Short's good, at least for now. Same with the 45. That's the old chart. There we are. Boom. Right back down to our range lows off of a lower high. That's not great. That's not what you want to see. This is very zoomed in. This shouldn't impact the way you see anything other than, I don't know, the next hour playing out. We did break the range low off of a lower high. That is not so hot. Not so hot here. Okay, I'm going to look at Ethereum then. Are you ready? I don't know if you can hear the music, but are you ready? There we go. Did break it. The 1 minute didn't close below though. 26.1 is our immediate downside target, especially off like a lower high here. Comes up to this high trend and comes down. You're looking for a follow through. A little bit of pinching there though. I'm just gonna leave this. Add the alert. Add the alert. Okay. We got price alerted in. I'm gonna pull up Ethereum. Well, let me end this poll, because that poll I think we got a pretty good turnout. I have another one. What do you think 2023 has in will bring? Yeah, there we go. Close enough. Do you think Ethereum BTC is bearish or bullish? Damn. This trade that we placed so long ago got just sniped out. I remember placing this and it not coming back and being like, well, whenever it gets back, we'll be able to hit it. Bullocks. Bullocks. You know, this is pretty spicy. This is pretty spicy. In general, I've been bearish on FBTC. To answer my own poll, I've been bearish on FBTC, but there's something here that is really actually very spicy. Really spicy. Holy shit. So, Ethereum, unlike Bitcoin, had traded below its 200 weekly for extended periods. It did in July of 22, came back above it. So, holy shit though, look at this. It's back above its 200. Bitcoin is not. It's just flirting with it today. But look at this. I guess that's a lower low in February. But look where it found support. You were talking about this for Bitcoin just a little bit ago. The 200 daily. Ethereum came down to it. Rallied. 2 days ago, it hit its 200 daily again. And that's what we're basically watching for on Bitcoin. Or that's what I'm watching for on Bitcoin. This. There it is. It's scooting on up. Bitcoin does seem to be going the wrong direction, but it's interesting that Ethereum has hit that, move back up, while Bitcoin is kind of just hovering above it. That could suggest that Bitcoin is going to go there, or what we're seeing could be a deviation that is going to be reflected on FBTC. So let's take a peek. That's very surprising, actually. I really did not expect to see that. That's very spicy. Let's see where the range low is here. 1620. Ethereum trading below 1620 is going to be very bearish in my opinion. Nice. You have a sweet little pocket of volume here. You got pretty clear skies up to 18. Here we go. That's just weird. I did not expect to see it. So in the same sense, what we're seeing is Ethereum is being a little weaker here on the daily as it's moved all the way back to the 200 where Bitcoin is not. So what would we expect? We'd expect Ethereum Bitcoin to be trending down. And we get it. And we get it. After a fake break there. And another, is that a lower high or is it a double top again? Double top, lower high, whatever. It's really the same. Moving it back down. That is not great. This is a copy. I'm going to clean it off. There we go. Let's look here. This is not all of Ethereum's history as far as I know. I think it was before 2015. Maybe not. Spicy. All right. Sorry, that was just for me. So what are we seeing? Ethereum had a really strong freaking 2020. And if you were on this channel, if you were part of our community, you would remember us buying FBTC like all the way up. All the way here, 02, 03, all the way up and then taking some profits up here. Ethereum has not done jack against BTC since this rally in May of 21, since the first 60K high. This is a little janky here. We do have a descending channel here, which we would expect to resolve to the upside more often than the downside. However, it doesn't dictate where the bottom of that channel or where it reverses. We could see it fall like this. It could begin a wedge. I don't know. I haven't really looked. I haven't looked at this like with a very close eye in a while because it's been very boring. You can see I have like alerts set that just never went off. Everybody and their mom was talking about the flippening just 2 years ago. Now no one seems to be talking about the flippening. It's weird, man. Here's 0.6 on the dot. Kind of looks like maybe some kind of harmonic. Lower high. Yeah, like a butterfly. Someone call Mitch Ray. Mitch Ray will know. I'm not a harmonic man. Just can't seem to catch bids though. One thing that's not bad, this RSI, at least you don't have higher highs with under RSI or your oscillators with lower highs in price. Ethereum on the day, this is pretty spicy. If it reverses here, it has a pretty strong setup. We have oversold, no overbought, doesn't become overbought, falls back down to oversold, but does not cross it. So it has to reverse here, it has to reverse now for this to play out. If it moves to the upside, you'll have what is called a swing rejection. And that's actually a very bullish sign. It's when the market tries to bring something back down lower, fails to actually bring it into oversold status, and you typically see a rip after that. I would say it really shouldn't trade below 0.64. Nah, maybe there's a little leeway. This thing just hasn't freaking moved. It's 3:24. I have to keep the eye on the time because I have to watch Miss Teen Crypto with Saylor in like 30 minutes. Have to do a little homework. All right, well, it's not the worst place to have to reverse either. Not the worst. Your daily looks like it's rolling over, but you have some kind of interim signs there, signals. All right. Phew, smashed. I would not be surprised to see Ethereum make a move against Bitcoin. This fall, this like downward channel, fall, downward channel. Not very common. These are like the opposite of momentum legs. Typically, you'd expect this. A move like that to the upside and then a fall. Usually, in my experience, when you see this kind of conflicting downwards channel, break downwards channel, you might see like one more drop, but that's usually the precursor to a very big kind of move back into, let's even call it this fair value gap up here. Usually you see some kind of like hunt. You really just have to break a high. If Ethereum could break past 0.7 against Bitcoin, it actually looks pretty good. But it just seems not to be able to. I don't know. I didn't even plan on looking at that. I got sucked into the rabbit hole there. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. As speculated. Womp. As speculated. What you don't want to see is another lower high. We're on the 1 minute time frame. Don't write home about it. Don't get excited. Don't get afraid. But on very low time frames, we have like a bottom, a flat bottom. Our highs are coming down. Typically, we look for it to move to the downside. Typically. Although the 1 minute's already rolling back over, and that's a pretty strong VWAP. Ooh, buddy, here it is. Here it is. This 5 minute has been guiding us. Lows came up. We broke our high. If this low holds, so what? We'll know in 3 minutes, maybe. 3 minutes-ish. Maybe looking for a retest of that high and to continue out. What I like about this now, though, VWAP is now moving towards the 0 from below. Momentum is pinched just below the 0 line. So on the 15, likely to see that VWAP flattening out a little bit, maybe, almost. But still in the uptrend on the 15. Oh, that wasn't 15. That was 145. Not in the uptrend. Actually, I didn't expect that. A little bit of a curveball here. Breaking your lows on the 15. That's actually not great. 30-minute was the one that suggested we were having a little breather. Seems to have played out. Hourly. Damn, still not done though. Yeah. Not ideal. We're at the 618 again. Wow. That looks pretty good. What's up with Tony D's brunch channel? What? Tony D's having a brunch channel? He didn't even invite me to brunch? It's rude. The brain wants to see these patterns. It does. 30-minute is the lowest time frame you watch for your sanity. Well done, Space Ape. I will admit to you guys, when I'm doing my analysis by myself, aka when I'm not streaming, I don't look at these time frames. I'm not looking at the 1 minute. I'm not looking at the 5 minute. But when I'm live streaming and I want to give you my predictions for like short-term price action, which are very difficult thing to do, I got to use the low time frames because the daily isn't going to give me any kind of like, the daily is not going to give me this. It's not going to give me that in-stream prediction. If it doesn't reject here from 26,350 and we see 26.4, just our previous high here on the 5 minute, breaks above 26.4, I think that's when we get the test of the 200. Came just shy. Yep, 5 minute losing a little bit. Damn, losing a little bit of that momentum. Right as it approaches the top trend. No. Near. Not great. Not great. It's 3:30. Holy. How time flies. What's up, Alexander Valdez? What's up, dude? Who else is here? Make sure you're liking and subscribing and voting in the poll. Ooh, EF Coins. I missed this. We have 2 new subscribers today. Shout out to them. Agus LTD and EF Coins. I don't know why my alert box isn't working. Didn't play the alert. There it is. EF Coins, what's up, my guy? If you're even still here. Jason is over with the live. Jason Casper streaming? I haven't seen him live streaming forever. It's funny that the one day I go live late at a weird time. Oh, he did stream. Shout out to Jason Casper. Dude, personal friend of mine, great guy. Awesome TA artist. He's jacked AF. He's just a nice guy. You can go follow him if you're not familiar. Ooh, he's only 3K subs away from 100K. Nice. Very nice. Gotta run. Word. What's up, Rick Cogswell? How you doing, man? Test 200 weekly, perfect on Binance. That is, you know, I was talking about kind of price action local to exchanges. You always got to check what you're trading on, because you can hit it. You could hit it on Binance and not on Coinbase, and that's what you're suggesting happened. That's very possible. Very possible. Just subscribe, bro. Great streams. Thank you, Alexander. Appreciate you. Ukraine war. Bury the rave. I don't think Bitcoin or crypto really cares about that kind of stuff. And I think the whole Russia-Ukraine escalation thing has been going on so long that I don't think markets are going to be super jumpy about it. We'll see. 5-second time frame too slow. Too slow. We'll see. 5-second, man, it looks like a year. He's good on TA, but he growls when he sings. I don't sing, so. What's up, Owen Terry? Steven Yang. Oh, you said the Binance comment. Who did I miss? Jans Briava. Shalom. Shalom. Where is Shalom? Shalom was a really OG member of this community. Haven't seen him in a long time. Jade Star. There's a name we haven't heard in a while. Jade Star. How you doing, darling? That's an OG name. It's a hell OG name. Moon so high, says Silent. Someday. We need Miss Chart Crypto. Miss Chart Crypto. Am I bullish on Bitcoin? Of course. Of course. We perceived as solid matter as empty space. Fair enough. What's up, Codes? We need 1 second. We're on the 5-second. Shout put to 6 Juanita. I don't know what that is, but okay. Supamaku. Who else is here? Your wife's boyfriend. How you doing? Ooh. Ooh, are we gonna break the range? Minute and 27. I'm not convinced. I would like to be, though. Ooh. It's kind of no man's land, but breaking your high back here. 26.4. And then I think Coinbase goes to test 200 weekly if that happens. If this closes down back below the high trend here, though, probably still following the path. This is the way. The way. All right. Let's put the Discord link in there. Sign up with Femex. They are our sponsor. We are sponsored, baby. Great exchange. Great exchange. My short is still alive. Living on a prayer. Ooh. I can't look away, even though I want to. What's good, Code? How you doing, man? Jason is jacked. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Your owner. Game over, says your owner. What game is over? Let's get them likes up, Crypto Fam. Yes, Crypto 420. You are wise. Hey, red and black get free drinks. Sounds good. What's your free drink strategy at the casino? Kind of an indecisive 5-minute close there, right on the trend. Opening outside of it. I'd love to be wrong. Go rip. Go rip. Peace. See you, Mike Bennett. What's up, T-Bone? Patrick Leishman, how you doing, man? Good to see you, Pat. I'm going to put this in the Discord. You should always join the Discord if you're not in it, because YouTube doesn't really send out notifications. It doesn't like to notify you guys, but you'll always get a notification in Discord. I put the chart in the Discord. Alexander Valdez did subscribe. Nice. This has been a long stream. I'm going to go watch Miss Teen Crypto interview Senor Saylor. Huge stuff. Thanks for joining me on Friday, guys. Have a great weekend. I love you. Join Discord.